If you're anything like me, like learning anatomy through sports injuries, this is episode 75, and this is Austin Beam, January 21st, 2025. My mom really wanted to see this one, so here we go. Austin is a cheerleader at Iowa, and he takes a hard fall here while tumbling in a basketball game, and he gets knocked out, and that's not good if you're Austin Beam. So we're going to slow it down here, and as he's doing these back handsprings, correct me if I'm wrong, he steps on his pants here, and he loses grip on his heels, which causes him to fall. He puts this arm out to land on it, but he's still flipping forward. So he basically takes the full force on that shoulder, and good night, Austin. So medical personnel obviously came to his attention, but let's talk about what happened first. So he actually has a history of losing his pants. He went mega viral in 2023 for losing his pants while tumbling at a football game in front of like 70,000 people. But so he has a history of this. Maybe tightening the pants would have been a good idea, but nonetheless, he had a broken scapula, also known as your shoulder blade. Okay, the medical terminology for your shoulder blade is scapula. It articulates with the humerus, all right? So it makes your shoulder joint. It is a ball and socket joint, and the ball is your humerus, and the socket itself is going to be the glenoid, is what it's called. So the scapulothoracic rhythm I thought was important to mention today. It's a 2-to-1 ratio. So basically, for overhead lifting, when you're going to 180 degrees of shoulder flexion, about 120 degrees of that comes from the glenohumeral joint itself, and 60 degrees comes from the scapula as it upwardly rotates with your arm. Okay, an upward rotation of the scapula is caused by the serratus anterior in the upper and lower traps. All right, so the upper and lower traps, as you can see, the upper is pulling and it is upwardly rotating that scapula. And upward rotation is when the bottom of the scapula goes outwards, okay, but the top goes down into your closer to your spine. So the break or the fracture of the scapula, there wasn't really much information on it. This is a posterior view of the scapula. You see the spine of the scapula here. The way that he fell, I would guess it'd be an acromion or if even like a glenoid, just because of the force of the humerus going into the glenoid. So he also had a concussion, which is not good for any athlete. So what did they do? Well, stabilization on the court. They gave him a cervical collar to stabilize that neck because they were worried about maybe a neck injury, but luckily enough, there was not one besides the concussion. He was unconscious for 5 minutes, actually. And the medical team, they gave praise to the medical team for responding as quickly as they did and as well as they did. So it was a non-surgical fracture. He was in a sling for immobilization for basically a few weeks, really. With the non-surgical fracture of the scapula, the bones are so close together. Unless they're severely displaced, it's going to be easy to heal or a quick healing process. So he had a week of rest before ramping up physical therapy, which lasted for about 3 months, progressing from range of motion to strengthening so he can get back to tumbling and cheerleading, which he returned in March of 2025, and I believe is still cheerleading to this day. So that is Austin Beam.